We've asked Melissa to come on the show today, and the topic that Melissa's going to cover is sellers that are in distress and need to tap into their home equity or potentially sell to salvage their equity in an effort to avoid foreclosure. Melissa, first off, welcome back to the program. And secondly, are you starting to see foreclosures? You're starting to see this stuff?
We are starting to see folks who are having some financial distress, right? We know cost of goods and everything from an inflationary perspective is insane. We know that some folks are struggling financially with consumer debt. So when you start to see folks who are kind of on that upward climb and they really can't afford their current living situation anymore, one of the first things as far as signs or symptoms would be properties fall into disrepair. So now maybe there's something that they need to repair at the home and they're also unable to accomplish that. So it's just that it starts to really kind of load them down. And then eventually they can only make the money stretch so far, right? So you can either pay your mortgage or feed your family. That's a pretty horrible choice. But it is one that sometimes we'll see, especially if someone has lost wages due to a disability or some sort of financial impact. Maybe they're getting divorced, right? Divorce is one of the single biggest financial impacts that you can see on a, otherwise traditional family. Although their overall monthly outlay may be going down, their housing expenses are going up because the rates may not be as attractive as what they had signed on to if they're just consolidating debt for a cash out refinance, as you suggested. And that is a suitable option in some instances to sort of stop the bleeding, release all the credit card liabilities. That does work in some cases. Some folks may need to entertain a bankruptcy status because they may have to get those credit card debts wiped out depending on what their overall financial and asset circumstances are. So that's another tool that we recommend, addressing. But I think, Emilio, the biggest struggle that I'm seeing, and this has happened several times in the last few months, is that we're getting calls when it's almost too late. So what I mean by that are folks are calling and saying, I have a foreclosure sale in 2 weeks. I have a foreclosure sale in 10 days. What can I do in order to stop the foreclosure? Because I really don't want to lose my house. I don't want to move. And trust me, I empathize that they don't want to move. But the harder part is that there may be a situation where they're actually facing foreclosure and then the complete loss of all the equity that they've built. Because you and I both know the mortgage obligation that they have against the house compared to what the houses are worth in this current environment. They are sitting and their house, their house rich and cash poor. They're sitting on money. It's just, they can't pull it out to pay things off because that doesn't necessarily help. They may be in a situation where they have to sell. Salvage that equity and then make that work for them to realign their new obligations. Even more basic, just open your mail and be proactive with strategizing with those trusted advisors as to what your options are.